What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining me on another episode on this channel. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Terminator Dark Fate. Terminator Dark Fate comes out on November the 1st, but however, fans were actually treated to a surprise screening of Terminator Dark Fate. Now, I'm surprised that they did this, that they let some fans see it to give their reviews on the movie, and overall, the reaction to it was very, very positive. But here's the problem, for me anyway. Some people actually compared Terminator Dark Fate to Star Wars The Force Awakens. And what I mean by that is, this movie is nothing more than a rehash of T1, T2. Yes, it continues the story of Sarah Connor and John Connor in this movie, but it's really a rehash, nothing more. And I kind of had a feeling that this movie would have a lot of undertones to Star Wars The Force Awakens. And there's a big time spoiler alert here. The major spoiler for this movie has been confirmed. It has. And if you actually know what that spoiler is, and it has to do with John Connor, it's confirmed. So this movie is going full Force Awakens in the way they're approaching this movie. It seems like they're playing it very, very safe. I'm hoping that there are some new elements to it because I really did not like The Force Awakens. I really didn't. It's one of my least favorite Star Wars movies ever. It just is. But here is what one person actually had to say. Oh, and by the way, this was by Alamo Drafthouse. They had a surprise screening of 15 theaters. And it was an intro by Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger with that. So it was, I guess it was like a little treat for these people that got to see it. But one of the reviewers said this: Terminator Dark Fate is basically Terminator The Force Awakens, a satisfying, exciting reboot that's essentially the best parts of T1 and T2 in a blender. Davis, Reyes, and Hamilton are excellent. The action, while it's familiar, is easily the best T3 yet. I don't know why they said T3 yet. I think they meant Terminator yet, I guess. But it says Terminator's back. I don't know what they really meant by that. But what I'm taking away from this is that it's essentially The Force Awakens, and they took the best parts of T1 and T2 and just threw it in there. So this is more confirmation that Hollywood is creatively bankrupt. The Force Awakens model did not work for me. I don't know if it's going to work for the hardcore fans of Terminator. When we go into a Terminator movie, we wanted something, exciting, something different. I love T1. I really, really do. But T2 took it to another level from a technological standpoint, storytelling standpoint. I mean, T1 was essentially a horror movie, and T2 became an action movie. So that's what I like. It was something brand new. And even from the trailer, we did kind of get that vibe that, okay, this is kind of a rehash of Terminator. It felt like that. And they gave away all of the most important points in the trailers. So going into this movie, I guess I'm not going to be surprised about anything because we kind of know where it's going to go out. If it's taking the Force Awakens model, Terminator comes back in time to kill Danny Ramos. Natalia Reyes is playing Danny Ramos. Her protector is coming back to help stop the Terminator from killing her. And they're going to go on from there. That's the most important part, and they're going to stick with that model here. So, I don't know. But here's another one, too. It says, is #Terminator Dark Fate the best since T2? Yep. Linda Hamilton's return makes a bit difference. Mackenzie Davis kicks all the ass, and Natalia Reyes is an excellent anchor. Gabrielle Luna's Rev 9 is a winner too. Physicality, VFX, fights, all spot on. Glad they made this another go. Now, I am intrigued by the Rev 9 Terminator, even though he seems kind of like the TX and the T1000 put into one, even though he can split in two. We know that. Now, him splitting in two, I would have saved that for the movie and not the trailer. But I guess they kind of want to show us that this Terminator is definitely different from other Terminator movies and other Terminator models at that too. So I'm a little down now, especially kind of knowing the spoiler about the T-800 from what Arnold Schwarzenegger had to say in an interview. Now we're getting confirmation that this movie is nothing more than a rehash of Terminator 1, Terminator 2. And I know what happens with John Connor, but maybe you don't, so I'm not going to spoil that. But I can tell you this. What happens with John Connor is going to make a lot of fans mad because it basically retcons T1 and T2. There's no other way to put it. It's going to retcon T1 and T2 and just starts this whole new franchise because we've been told John Connor is the savior of humanity. He is humanity's last hope, but yet apparently he is not humanity's last hope. Someone else is coming in to take that mantle. So what is John Connor? What was his story about? Why was T1 and T2 made? Because this completely retcons T1 and T2. Because it's not about John Connor anymore. It's about Danny Ramos. They have to do a very, very good job in convincing me that she is the new leader of the Resistance. And why is John Connor not featured in this movie on an extensive level? Because yes, he is in the movie. He is in the movie at the beginning. That is confirmed. Everything that I put out in a spoiler leak video, that has been confirmed is happening. So when you go into this movie, get ready. And I don't think you're going to be happy with the beginning of the movie. But anyway, guys, that's the early reviews for Terminator Dark Fate. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. If you're new here to the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me, and we will catch you on the next video. John Matrixx, out.